cube
of.
How are you guys doing? Good. Have you guys ever seen footage like this before?
No.
Do you know what it is?
No. I'm guessing that they're killing the chicks.
Yeah. So that right there on the screen is chickens in the egg industry. They have workers, as soon as they hatch, in the hatcheries, they're always breeding more chickens to lay more eggs, right? So as soon as they hatch, workers are separating them male and female. They have a way of looking at their body parts and figuring out. And the males, because they'll never lay eggs, they're considered just waste products. So they kill them. They either, in that video, they're suffocating them with toxic gas, or they just pump the oxygen out of a chamber. In some of the hatcheries, they literally put them like an industrial blender. Were you guys here a few minutes ago to see that part?
No.
Oh, okay. So yeah, they like kill them right away, and it's millions and millions of baby chicks, and the only crime was being born male instead of female. And this is also people can eat eggs. So even happy eggs, even organic and what they call range-free and all that stuff, they're still killing all the male chicks. And do you guys want to come closer to see better?
Yeah.
You can go anytime you like. I'm not going to like chase you or anything. So these are broiler chickens. So the chickens, like when you go to McDonald's or Chick-fil-A or something, get a chicken sandwich, they have selectively bred them, crossbred them, just to make them so big so that they have like a huge muscles and breasts for eating, but they're so big like that it's like a Frankenbird. They can't even stand on their own. A lot of times their legs will break under their own weight. And so many of them, they just get dumped out like garbage because they die before they even make it to slaughter age, which is only, in the case of these chickens, I believe it's like 6 months old. So the workers are constantly picking up the dead ones off the floor and throwing them out. And all this is kept hidden from the public because, they don't want people to know. They tell us everything is humane. They tell us, oh, don't worry, this is natural and normal, we need to eat to survive, so it's okay. And the animals don't suffer at all. That's what they tell us. Like, have you guys ever heard of like humanely raised meat? Yeah. But the reality is about 99% of the animals raised in the US live in these kind of conditions, which they call it factory farming. So many of them never even see sunlight until the day that they're put onto a truck to go to slaughter and have their throat slit. Yeah, and so many of them never even make it to slaughter age. Imagine living like that. Imagine like being in a warehouse crammed with people. They're standing in their own pee and poop their whole life. It burns their skin, they get sick. Would you consider yourself animal lovers? Yeah?
Yeah, I have a bunch of animals.
Oh, okay. What kind of animals do you have?
Cats, dogs.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I just have one cat right now, but I've had a lot of different kinds of animals. Cool.
Every animal is the same in a way. So.
Right. Well, and they're just like us. They have feelings and emotions. They love their children. They have fear. They feel pain. They try to escape danger. So do you think that we should respect animals? Do you think that what they're doing to these animals in the name of food, do you think that that's respecting the animals? Not, right? Yeah. That's kind of why we're out here, to just educate people and, ask them the question, So have you guys ever heard of veganism?
Yeah.
Yeah?
No eggs, no milk.
Right. No dairy, no eggs, nothing that came from an animal. Yeah. So a lot of people think it's a diet, but, it's not for calories. It's really, the whole point is it's an ethical stance to reject this kind of violence and cruelty. And so we're out here to, ask people to consider that. Well, let me ask you this. Okay, so whenever we pay for anything, we're basically supporting that, right, financially. It's like we're voting with our dollar, right? So if I say to you, are you against animal abuse? I probably know what your answer is. You're against animal abuse, right? So, but when we buy foods and eat foods that require this kind of violence, do you think it's really true if I say I'm against animal cruelty and yet I'm literally supporting it every day, 3 times a day with my dollar? Do you think it's a true statement? It's not, right? Yeah. So that's why I'm vegan. Like all of us here are vegan. I went vegan 7 years ago, and I'm 55 years old, and I'm in like the best shape of my life, you know. So there's a lot of misinformation out there. The meat industry and dairy industry will tell you, oh, you gotta have this, you gotta have that, you're not gonna be healthy, and it's totally untrue. Like you can, with just a little bit of planning, you can totally get all the nutrients your body needs, and without ever being part of the chain of causation, you know, for this.
I've been thinking about going vegetarian.
Oh yeah, cool. That's a great start. I went vegetarian. I mean, this was before I knew about the egg industry and the dairy industry. About 9.5 years ago, I went vegetarian, and I was vegetarian for like 2 years. And then I found out I was still paying for like some of the worst animal cruelty, and I was like, shit, okay, well now I guess, oh sorry, I mean to cuss. I don't know if this is, are you guys brother and sister or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool, so you're not gonna get too mad at me like,
No.
don't cuss in front of my son.
Him all the time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was like, I realized that being vegetarian wasn't accomplishing my goal of avoiding all the animal cruelty. Yeah, this is the other thing. You know, the industries are treating these living, feeling beings as basically objects.
Well,
So
I feel like it's going on with everything right now. It's
Yeah.
With humans too.
Humans too, totally.
They're
It's,
disrespecting everybody. There's no.
I know.
Respect.
Our whole human society has like devolved into this horrible thing
We're
where,
all against each other.
right, anybody who's less powerful is seen as a commodity. If you don't benefit me, then I don't want you around. If there's some way I can take advantage of you, you know, oppress you and, you know, exploit you, then I'll do that. Like, it's horrible. It's like the whole,
What is that?
oh, okay, so this is how they kill. It's 96, 97% of the chickens consumed in the US. This is how most of them are processed. They call it processing, but it's the process of killing them. So first, they hang them up and shackle them by the legs. They get dipped into electrified water. If you saw them going through the water a minute ago, the water is supposed to stun them because it's got electricity and it shocks them. Oftentimes, it's ineffective. You probably saw a minute ago some of them going through that blade when they get their throat slit. They're still kicking and flapping, you know, so they feel everything. And then they go through boiling water to take all the feathers off. Many of them are still alive and conscious at that point because either they're still alive even though they got their throat slit, or they dodged the blade and they lifted their head. So some of these chickens are literally getting boiled alive. I'm not sure if they're drowning or being boiled alive first, which one kills them, you know, but I mean, imagine dying like that. And everybody is like, oh, chicken's such a good, clean, healthy food, and yet that's the cruelty happening in order for people to eat chickens. So this is dairy. Cows are like, you know, just like humans, they don't give milk just because they're cows, you know, they give milk because they're mothers, and it's nature's intended it for their babies. So I don't know if you can see this guy's got his arm all the way up inside the cow's rectum. It's really like a form of sexual assault. In order to impregnate them and keep breeding more cows, and this is not just dairy, but also for meat, they're violating them like that, right? And what they're doing is they're pinching the cervix through the intestinal wall, and then they're putting a rod into the cow's vagina to inject bull semen. And then they can't sell the milk or sell the cheese if the babies are drinking it. So first thing they do is take the baby away the first day or two after they're born. And these cows, some of the cows will chase them for miles because that's their baby, you know. And they were pregnant, just like humans. Cows' pregnancy lasts 9 months. The male babies, most of them get killed for veal at about 6 weeks old. The female babies become dairy slaves like their mom.
So
See,
the
like-
way of stopping this is to start boycotting such places that.
Really, yeah, the way to stop all of this, that's a great question. I was just thinking about asking you something along those lines. You know, the reason this is happening is because people are paying for it. So the only way to stop it is if everyone stops paying for it, because as long as someone's willing to pay for it, there's going to be somebody greedy who's willing to do this to animals to make a profit, you know. So, you know, there's a lot of things that need to change in government subsidies and the way businesses run, but the key, it really starts with the consumer, because that's ultimately where the chain of causation begins, with my dollar or your dollar, right? So this is electric stunning. This is, again, part of the process. They tell us, oh, don't worry, the animals don't feel a thing. We stun them first. They don't suffer. But the reality of even the stunning process is freaking horrible, you know?
How did you guys get this footage?
So people, believe it or not, people went undercover to work in these factory farms and slaughterhouses. People who are vegan and who are, you know, trying to save the animals. Many of them had to actually kill animals by their own hand in order to be able to sneak in and get this footage, set up the cameras and stuff. Look at this. They're supposed to be unconscious. By law, it's actually a law. Most of the animal cruelty laws don't apply, but there's still a few protections, and one of them is they're supposed to be fully unconscious before they have their throat slit. But these workers, they're under a quota. Many of them are undocumented immigrants, and so, you know, these industries prey on people who are, undocumented, because nobody else wants this job, right? And they have to have work. And so these people, you know, they have a quota where they have to run so many cows through, 2,000 cows or whatever every day, or whatever it is, and they get fired if they don't keep up. So the workers, unfortunately, they don't care. Like, if somebody's stunned in so many, even in so-called humane farms, over and over, whenever they're investigated, undercover footage reveals that they're doing this to these animals, and they're fully conscious, they feel everything. Like, imagine that, being hung up upside down, somebody slits your throat and you're like choking on your own blood trying to breathe, you know? It's pretty horrific. Yeah, and they hook them up to these machines to milk them. Oh. One of you guys have a backpack or a purse you could put this in? Can I give you some information for later? So, it's just talking about everything we've been talking about how, you know, that if we love animals, you know, everybody says they love animals, and yet if we're not aware, we're like contributing to so much animal suffering, you know.
Well, we're gonna go actually.
Okay, can I give you guys more, there's more links on here. This movie is Dominion. It was filmed in Australia, but all these things happen in the US too. And there's other good websites and movies on there. There's Happy Cow down there is an app. It's a free app, and it'll locate vegan food in your area anywhere in the world. And yeah, there's all kinds of good resources on there. Thank you for taking the time. I know this is hard. I can see it in your face. It's hard for you.
Watching it, like, I don't know how I'm gonna walk away. It's like,
You know what? You are more brave than like 95% of the grown men that are like 6 feet tall and 250 pounds walking past here. You guys are so brave for actually confronting this and stopping, you know? So major kudos.
When you take it in, you see it happen. When people tell you about it, it's just like, okay.
Yeah.
But when you really see it.
Right. Pictures worth 1,000 words, right? Yeah. Well, what are your names?
My name's Bella.
Bella? Jacob. Nice to meet you guys. I'm Dave.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
Have a nice day.
You too. Have a great day.
I hope more people come out.
Yeah, definitely.
Cube of